Leave that.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Blame Your Brother. We are back once again to entertain you for the next bit or so. It is episode 232, and we are streaming the show live on YouTube right now at youtube.com/blameyourbrother every Thursday night, 8 p.m. So come hang out with us as we do it. We have a good chat room, good group of people, so we'd like to see all of you show up and support us. And if you miss a stream, we are available every Friday morning on all the podcast platforms. And we are Blame Your Brother. I am one half of that duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of people, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, the spiritual midget. And this gentleman sitting over to my left, it is John.
Hey, everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, OG1, you know me, Mr. PTI, the madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, so there you go, David and John. Tonight, we shall be listing our top Star Wars characters for our Mount Rushmore. I'm just going to come real with it. I don't even have a list.
I didn't either.
I didn't write one down, so it's just going to be off the cuff, and it's going to be good. And that's obviously in honor of, May the 4th be with you, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Hope to talk about Marvel. Phase 4 was announced. I want to run through some of those movies, get some of your
excited
opinions on them. Yeah. Bill Gates got divorced, so I want to touch on that. And then if we have time, a certain person has a social media website that's not that. But anyway, before we do that, we'll start off like we always do. How was your past week, John? Anything new going on, or is it just same old, same old?
Got my second dose.
Oh, you got the second? Okay, so what
free and
happened?
clear.
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh, good. Okay, good. All right. That's nice.
For the first one, the only thing I had really was
sore
arm, and this one, it was far less sore than the...
Okay.
And the first one, it wasn't that bad.
You got
lucky. Might have had some drowsiness, but it might have just been my life.
See, that's what I said. I said the same thing. Yeah, I was like, I felt tired, but I did a lot that day. Like I had like a football practice to go to, something else for one of my kids, something else. It was like crazy. So
yeah,
I guess we got off easy. Thank goodness. Yep. So, well, that's good. And when did you get that done?
May the 4th.
Oh, were there Star Wars people dressed? Did you go through where? You went through the same place?
Yeah, Music City Center.
No Star Wars people dressed up?
I would have loved that, but no.
I wish there would have been. It would have been pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So that was your big thing this week, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Good to know. So this past week, yeah, not much has happened. It's, as we're kind of winding down from people kind of, working from home, and I'm getting people calling me now or texting me like, you're back at work yet? And I'm like, well, number one, I'm still working. So yeah. I'm not back at the office yet is what I want to say there right now. I've been working the entire time on my dime, on my power grid, on my internet, which is why it's confusing to me. Like, wouldn't a business just go, you know what? This might be a good thing. Let's let these people stay at home and eat up their own resources. I don't understand that. I mean, it's that old mentality of, I need to see you to get work out of you. We're past that. That's, I know there's certain jobs, obviously, I mean, we're not stupid, retail and doctors and for the most part, I would say teaching, all needs to be done.
For a lot of jobs, the proof is of the pudding.
Right.
You see what the outcome is.
Correct.
Whether or not you see how it's done may be a different story.
Right.
But
most office jobs, you're going to do what you're going to do. I would say, I probably get more work done at home than at the office because I'm talking to this person. There's
definitely a social aspect when you're at work.
For sure, yeah.
And so
at home, I'm like, I got to get this done where it's done, So that was it. This week, I wrapped up college. I believe I got 2 A's. We'll find out. That doesn't really matter, I guess. So I find out officially next week that I've graduated. So I will be a college graduate with a associate's degree. So I'm very happy about that. I'm done with school. I'm out. People go back for their bachelor's degree. God bless you. I guess if I was going into something where I needed it, it would be different, but I really just got this to get it. So So, that's good. So I'll obviously talk about that as that happens. But other than that, yeah, I guess the big thing this week was May the 4th be with you. And then Cinco de Mayo back to back. And, it's fun to see holidays for nerds. Now we got March 10th, which is Mario Day, which I like that one a lot. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And then we have May the 4th be with you. Now, I'm sure there's more, but those are two of like the big ones here.
Oh, you got Pi Day.
Oh, Pi, yes. Thank
March
you.
14th.
Yeah, I work with engineers. I hear about that every year when I was at the office. They would like bring in pies. And where I'd worked before, there were no engineers. You could argue there weren't educated people. There weren't a lot of college degrees. And hell, I was there with them. I'm not saying that doesn't make you. I've worked with smarter people when I worked at the police department than I work with now that have degrees. But we didn't focus on Pi Day. That wasn't like something that where I work at now, they love it. They're like, oh yeah, it's good. So yes, nerd holidays. Did you do anything for Cinco de Mayo? I'm assuming not.
No.
Okay. Do you have Mexican food at the house at least, or no? Wow.
It's one of those. It just kind of passed by us.
Yeah. Once again, a lot like St. Patrick's Day, holiday for the youth. Once you get older, I mean, we used to go out and eat at like Mexican restaurant, or I got a friend whose birthday, Lance, is on Cinco de Mayo. My brother-in-law, Israel's birthday is on Cinco de Mayo, and he's from Mexico, and he came here and he married my sister, and now they live in Nashville, so I'm sure they celebrate it. But I love Mexican food. Don't get me wrong; it's power rankings, probably number 3 of favorite foods by Italian, American, Mexican. That's probably all I need. I mean, I don't really need much else. But, so we just had cooked out some fajitas, and it is what it is. But anyway, we do got to talk about, I want to go ahead and get this off the plate right now. Let's talk about Marvel Phase 4. Now, this came out this past week. They have unveiled the entire timeline of Marvel Phase 4. So, that being said, I'm going to let's look at the list here. We've got Black Widow. We've got Falcon Winter Soldier, the movie. I'm guessing it says fall of 2020. No, it's already happened. Oh, Black Widow was already supposed to be out. Oh, I forgot about that. We have so basically we have Black Widow, the Eternals, Shang-Chi, WandaVision, which is already came out, so I don't know why that's back up there. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, and Thor, Love and Thunder. Those are the movies scheduled for Phase 4. So we'll break them all down. Black Widow. What's your level of excitement from 1 to 5 for Black Widow? Now, this is a flashback, obviously, because Black Widow is dead, and it's setting up the next Black Widow. Yeah. So have you seen any of the previews for that one?
I saw a few previews. I'm at a solid 3.
Yeah.
For that one.
Here's what I will say. And this is why I hate to doubt Marvel or any superhero franchise. I remember hearing about Wonder Woman, and I went, there's no way that movie's going to do any amount of money. There's no way. I heard about Thor, and I went, there's no way. And the Thor's not going to be a hit. And then you hear about Doctor Strange. I went, well, maybe this is the one where it tanks. Or Ant-Man. I mean, I love Ant-Man, but I don't know if he... Then they get Paul Rudd. So you're like, well, that was going to be all right. But even with Doctor Strange, I was like, I don't know about this one, guys. Like, this one's kind of dicey. Black Widow. From the previews, it looks good. It looks like, probably looks like Ant-Man, I would say. So I don't know what you thought of Ant-Man, but I think probably a similar feel for the movie.
I'm getting the vibe it's going to be way more serious than Ant-Man was.
Oh, no, because they got that Captain Russian dude.
He's the only one making any jokes. Go back and watch another preview.
Telling you, man, Marvel...
And I like David Harbour, but he's the only one that's really cutting up.
I went back, I watched all of the
How much is he in the movie?
All the Phase 1 movies. All are joke heavy. Like, we don't realize it at the time. Even like Thor has a ton of jokes. The first Thor has a lot of it is comedy. It's him coming to Earth, and like half the movies them joking on him.
Yeah.
Iron Man, obviously. Yeah. Tons of humor. Even Captain America's got. That's probably the least comedic of one of them all. Avengers is a laugh riot. It is. I know it's played seriously, but there's jokes all up and down it. And then what was the other phase? That may be it. But anyway, I think there's always going to be some element of comedy. Yeah, I think maybe this is closer to Winter Soldier. Maybe that level of comedy. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
I
love ScarJo.
I love Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
But any action movie led by her has been not so great.
Really?
What's Lucy? Lucy was not a great movie.
Okay, fair enough.
What's the was it Deus Ex Machina? Was the movie she did that was based off
Ghost
of
in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
Never seen it.
No, I haven't heard anybody.
I mean, so yeah, Marvel saved her pretty much. I mean, I think we can probably both agree on that. I mean, yes, but I think her role as Black Widow is pretty awesome. I think Black Widow's a cool character. I think it's gonna be fun to see her in Russia. And like I say, they're basically setting up for the next wave of stars.
Yeah.
You know, and I look at this, I'm like, dude, it's gonna be. My problem with it is you're replacing Captain America, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Like, man, that's like some big shoes to fill. I mean, I guess you could argue the same thing about Star Wars, which we'll talk about later. You know, and some people didn't feel the Next Generation worked. Some people do. So I guess it just depends on which. So, okay, Black Widow. Let's talk about the Eternals, man. These next few movies, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't even know what the Eternals. I know it's about. What do you know about it? I don't know much.
Not very much.
I know they're like celestial. So,
but I mean, if they could dial into that comedic thing, but I don't see how they can do that with that movie.
I don't think there's much comedy at all in this one.
I mean, I don't know how they'd be able to do it.
I don't know who's in. I know Angelina
Jolie, Salma Hayek.
Really? Okay. Now you're piquing my interest. You've got my interest piqued. I haven't seen Angelina Jolie in something in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's up with that, but I just saw her on something else. She's coming out with another movie this summer. So
I think the pandemic has kind of messed up because I keep seeing things like, I saw an article and it's like, why isn't Jennifer Lawrence in anything lately? Nobody's in anything lately. What are you talking about?
That's probably true, I guess.
And so, I mean.
Okay, so from IMDb. The saga of the Eternals, a race of immortal beings who lived on Earth and shaped its history and civilizations. I don't see it, man. I mean, I'll watch all of them. I've just said that. I'm done doubting it, but I'm about a 2. On Widow, I'm like a 4. You're 3. I'm probably a 3.5. Eternals, I'm like a 2.
I feel you on that.
All right, so let's move to the next one. Now, what's this next one called again? It's called
Shang-Chi.
Okay, please.
Think Iron Fist if he was fully Asian.
Okay, but people realize
they are changing the story.
Wait, you know the story of Shang-Chi?
A little bit.
Okay, please. I know nothing about this. I'm a lifelong comic book reader, nerd, geek. On that front, I don't know anything about this.
His in the comic book, his father is like kind of like he's actually a bad guy.
Okay.
And then, but, you know, and he's, when you're a little kid, I mean, he was training him since he was a little kid, but when you're a little kid, you do what your parents,
right?
Because you think your parents are good.
Right, yeah.
And so, like, when he gets to a certain age, you know, his father's like, all right, go out in the world, get your footing, do your thing, and then when it's time, you'll come back and you'll eventually take over.
So
and so when he goes out in the world and when it's time for him to come back, he realizes that his dad's not a good guy, and I can't remember how or where he gets his powers from.
So like Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will.
Well, I mean, he didn't know his dad though. At all.
Fair enough, I know, but
so I mean,
I'm just sick of the
it'd be
Invincible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm just sick of the dads, the evil. I don't know. It's kind of played out.
Yeah.
But there are some common themes. Like when I watch
in this version,
yeah,
the true Mandarin
is in
excuse me, is going to play his father. His father's going to be the
real
Mandarin.
Okay, what is this setting up for?
The 10 rings.
What is the 10 rings? Is this the next Infinity Stones? So you got to look at phase 1, phase 2, phase. They all set up. Every movie, now that you look back at it, was set up for the final 2 movies. Every character, like Ant-Man.
yeah,
What's Ant-Man doing in here? This is stupid. And you're like, oh.
If it wasn't for Ant-Man, they wouldn't have time travel.
Right. And so you can. What is the 10 Rings setting up for?
I really don't.
I don't know, man. I liked Iron Fist. I was one of the few that liked it on Netflix, but I don't know about this one, man. Okay. After that is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. All right. What's your excitement level for that?
That's
going to have Scarlet
I think
Witch.
it has Spider-Man in it. So
Oh, okay.
if it has Spider-Man in it, then I might be all in.
What's got Scarlet Witch in it?
That's a plus, but is she just featured in it or is she in it?
I think she's in it, from what I've
then,
read.
Then I'd probably put it at a 4. But if she's just going to be like a little...
I don't know, man. I think she's in it.
If
but,
she's like just a catalyst to start the movie or whatever.
Okay, what do you think of Doctor Strange? Just the movie Doctor Strange.
I thought it was Iron Man 1 with magic.
100%, yeah. They're pretty much the same guy.
Yeah. Except one's a little bit more witty.
Yeah. I guess Doctor Strange was a little bit more arrogant than Iron Man.
And I'm
which
just
is hard to believe,
saying,
but
if you take Iron Man's wit away, he's just an asshole.
Yeah, pretty much like Doctor Strange.
And that's kind of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, then we have Loki, which is the series on Disney Plus. I finally saw the trailer the other day. What do you think about this one?
They're going hard to the paint with the comedy.
Oh, of course, it's got Owen Wilson in it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think they're kind of taking what Taika Waititi did with Ragnarok and just trying to build on that. And it looks like they're having fun.
Okay.
And when it looks like the actors are having fun doing what they're doing, at least for me, it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. So I'll give that like a 3.9, not quite a 4.
Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. Then we got Hawkeye, which
I'm a big Haley Steinfeld fan.
Okay. Who is that? I know who she is in the movie, but what has she been in? The actual actress?
She was in the remake of True Grit.
Okay.
And
saw that.
And Bumblebee. She's the main character.
Oh, I never saw Bumblebee. Okay.
You haven't?
Nah.
It's not bad.
It looked like I'd already seen the movie. You ever seen a movie where it's like, I already know what's gonna happen? Why? I can go watch a movie where like I'm confused and I enjoy that. I just feel it's a Transformers movie with Bumblebee in it, right? Anyway, it's fine. I think I keep coming to it. Bumblebee's like Ant-Man, okay? You don't have to watch it, but if you want to watch it, it's fine, so. All right, then we have, I'm like I said about that one, I don't really care about Hawkeye. Will I watch it? Once again, I will watch everything. But then we come to What If. Now, What If, when I grew up, was one of my favorite comic book series. The premise is simple. What if Captain America was Sharon Carter? And that's the entire comic book issue.
You mean Peggy Carter?
Yeah, Peggy Carter. What if
they just take one key aspect of a main storyline and just flip it?
Right. What if Rick Jones became the Hulk instead of Bruce Banner?
Yeah.
Things like that. Now, you say that and you go, man, that would be like Black Mirror awesome. Have you seen the trailer for this?
I haven't. I know it's all cartoon.
Oh, it's animated, but it's not cartoon, brother. It's like that digital cartoon type stuff. Like, did you watch Spider-Man when it was like on MTV and it was like computerized?
Yeah.
It's like that. It didn't even look as good as that. I was really like, is this done yet? Should they be releasing this trailer? It did not look good. Once again, I'll watch it, but man, come on. This is 2021. You got
I noticed that they remade DuckTales. Do you remember the cartoon DuckTales?
Yes. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. They remade it, and actually the animation looks way worse than the original.
Yeah, what is up with that?
And I don't know what they're going for.
I don't either. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Ugh.
I don't like it. Anyways, okay. So based on that, it's a cartoon, man. I don't think a lot of people are going to watch it, but I think it would have some. I know one of them is What If Peggy Carter became Captain America. There was some, I forget what the other ones were, but it should be fun. It's fun to like look at history and kind of imagine.
Yeah.
And the last movie we have is Thor, Love and Thunder. I mean, that's a 5 for me. I rewatched Thor Ragnarok just today. That movie is phenomenal. Like, it's crazy how much. Here's what I say. Is Thor Ragnarok one of my favorite 3? I don't know about that. I would definitely say Guardians 1 is one of my favorite 3, without a doubt. But to me, that's almost fair because Guardians is like a different kind of movie than Captain America. So Winter Soldier would probably be in my top 3 as well. And then, I mean, you have to put probably Endgame or Infinity War somewhere, wherever. That really should be one movie, truthfully. But you have. But anyway, that changed. I think that changed. I mean, it changed the game for Thor for sure. Like you said, I mean, he was bored. He was like, I want out of this franchise. I think when Thor, and people don't like it on social media, keyboard warriors don't like Fat Thor. I love Fat Thor. I thought he was hilarious, but I also thought it was a great way to show how the event basically took all the spirit out of his life, where he's like, I'm done. Which, question, do you think Captain America has to work out to keep his body, or would it always look like that? Because when he came out of that tube, he was jacked to the rims.
Yeah.
Do you think this man needs to work out ever? He already said in the movies he can't get drunk, so his metabolism is 5 times the average human, which seems like
maybe the slightest thing is like him working out.
Yeah, I guess so. But wouldn't he have to eat a lot of food? Or does it, I mean, I have questions.
I mean, they really haven't gone into the details like that.
Well, I mean, if you're saying his metabolism is 5 times the average human, I mean, he would have to eat. Anyway, point is, whatever. It's a comic book. But I don't know much about Thor, Love and Thunder. Do you know anything about it?
I know that they are, from what I've heard, they're attempting to pass the torch on to Jane Foster.
Oh, man, I love Natalie Portman, and we'll talk about Natalie Portman probably in a little bit on Star Wars Talk, but Natalie Portman in Thor is what Natalie Portman in Phantom Menace needed to be. Like, that's someone I enjoy watching on screen.
Yeah, I would agree.
Her in Phantom Menace, I was like, and in Clone Wars, I was like, what is happening? You've taken one of the most lovable actresses in Hollywood, and you've made her lame. Like, I mean, she had to be thinking that while filming that movie. I mean, she had to be. These Star Wars movies are crap. But I think in Thor, she was great. So I'll give that a chance. I'm all for it. Let's do it. Let's go. So, all right. So that is Marvel Phase 4. It's going to be an interesting journey. It's not quite the. It's kind of like when Michael Jordan left the league. The league kind of took a dip until the next superstar came around. So let's see who the next superstar is going to be. I mean, it could be somebody out of these movies.
Well, the great thing about Ragnarok is it set up a point where Thor can still maintain his abilities and his power without the hammer.
Right.
And so by recreating the hammer, however they're going to do that, however they're going to pass the torch on to Natalie Portman, with that loophole, you can still have him as Thor and have her as a female Thor as well.
That's true.
And so, I mean, if that's the route that is going to be taken, I'm okay with that. But just giving it to Jane Foster.
All right,
and I mean, in the comic books, they also have a big. Every time she transforms, she like has to do the balance. Like she's Jane Foster and she's Thor, kind of like the original when you had Donald Blake and Thor.
Yeah.
And every time she changed, she got cancer, and her cancer would keep getting worse and worse.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Huh. It's an interesting take.
I might be a little too dark for the Marvel universe.
Way too dark. So of those movies, which one just stands out as the one you got to go see? Is it Thor? Is Thor the one?
If Scarlet Witch is going to be a main part of that movie,
yes,
then that's my number one of those movies.
Okay.
Then probably Thor.
Okay. My least favorite, Shang-Chi. I don't know. How's that going to do in America? I know it's going to go great overseas because it's primarily like Asian cast, and that's awesome. But
I don't see him in the power set that I believe he's supposed to have, meshing with the Avengers. What
is the power set?
It's not quite Iron Fist.
Okay.
But in kind of the same vein.
And Marvel, Can we get Daredevil Charlie Cox into this universe, please?
There are talks
Just
about him
do
being
it.
in the Spider-Man movie, but
just do it?
I think a lot of the people in the Spider-Man movie are going to be like one-offs.
Well, I want a whole movie with Daredevil as Charlie Cox. I want you to bring Jessica Jones. You can bring Luke Cage with you. Just bring them in.
Luke Cage was a great actor. I forget the guy's name.
Oh, he was great.
He was great as
Right.
Luke Cage too.
Defenders, I loved it. I mean, Daredevil's one of my favorite Netflix series of all time. I mean, I was just blown away.
Yeah, the one-shot scenes were completely amazing.
Oh, yeah. Get the man in Marvel. Jeez. All right. All right, well, that was phase 4. Let's talk about phase 2 for somebody, and that's Mr. Billy Gates. Bill Gates is filing for divorce this week. I've called him the world's most eligible bachelor now because he is one of the wealthiest men in the world. I gotta tell you a story. I want to see if you have a problem with this. So his wife said that he every year regularly planned he'd take a week-long trip to like wherever, the Bahamas, Costa Rica, wherever I don't know where he goes. He was going over there to spend
Was it the
a
same
week.
place every year.
No, that was different.
Okay.
Well, that's not the kicker. She was not going with him. That's kick 1. Kick 2, he was spending the week with his ex-girlfriend. Now, okay, so I got a few questions about this. I mean, it's already kind of weird. So he said that she was very brilliant and that they were able to discuss a lot of his worldview. She knew him very well, and she was like a friend to him. And she knew the wife, and the wife called her and asked if it was okay for their blessing, getting married or something, all this wacky stuff. So I don't know, maybe they had a close friendship or not, but is there any world where you're like, that's cool?
If my wife was going on a trip to hang out with you for a week, as close as me and you are,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not cool. No,
It'd be weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. It's very weird, but this was an
I'm sure
ongoing.
you'd feel the same way about it. Me and Casey went on a trip. And you'd be
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
no,
I think
that's
you would
not-
think it.
that's odd.
Yes, especially if it was an ex.
That's I'm saying that's
Yeah,
even
no, I
worse.
know. I'm saying you're down to 1,000 at that point because these people could still be in love. I don't know if they're still in love. Love is different things. They might love each other. Maybe so. I don't know.
I think for no matter how bad your ex is, there might be. I say might because we've had some pretty crazy exes. There might be that
Yes.
teeny tiny splinter of a thought that you're like, let's.
Oh no, even the crazy ones. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you spend a week with anybody, it's gonna anyway. So that was something that was happening all the time. Obviously, he's a billionaire. Now she's a billionaire. Can you imagine? I mean, the man's old too. I don't know how old Bill Gates is. He's got to be. I mean, he's way older than us. So I don't know if he's in his maybe
He's got to be in his
60s. Okay, so he's a billionaire man, 60 years old. I mean, I think he looks like he stays busy with his life, but can you even imagine the dating scene for someone like that? How would he even meet someone? Like, how do you think he's interested in meeting people? Like,
I mean, he's probably. I mean, my thought is, unless things are really, really bad with their relationship,
right?
Why even call it this? I mean, why?
That's a good question.
I mean, when
isn't
you
it?
get to a certain point in your life, a certain age, there's got to be a level of miserability that you have to be in if you're like, let's get a divorce now.
Especially if you're probably not even home. I mean, this guy's in Africa. He's in this country. He's in this. He's all over. Like, it's not like he's.
It seems like he would be too busy to fight with his wife where it'd be that important of a fight.
Maybe. But nothing's come out so far. And, Bill Gates is one of the nerdiest people on the planet. So I don't know.
Unless maybe he wants to get back with that ex and he's like, look.
Could.
And he told his wife, look, this is what I want. She's like, well, if you want that, then we need to get a divorce.
Well,
I mean, I could see that happening, but besides that, I mean,
I feel like she'd come off with that. Seems like she would tell the press that. I mean, women are. Look, I know men are, but I've seen divorces from men's side. Who obviously I was more friends with the men that got divorced. Then I haven't known many women who I was close friends with got divorced. But from the men's perspective, just staying neutral, women, the women I've known that were getting divorced were bitter and vindictive, and they wanted to take their partner down to the gates of hell with them. And if that would include humiliating them while becoming a billionaire in the process, unless she's a saint, I don't know how that doesn't happen. Especially if she comes in, he's like, yeah, I'm in love with my girlfriend. She'd be like, oh, hell no. Like, what are you talking? You know what I'm saying? Like, if as you get older, when you're 20, relationships I'm not saying I'm trying to explain this, but at 20, when someone breaks up with you, your world is literally falling apart. That's why all the great love songs and breakup songs are written by 20-year-olds, musicians, As you get to 40, it's a little bit different. Whereas like if my wife came in one day and she's like, we're getting a divorce, I'd be like, oh, I mean, why? Like it would be a much more rational conversation than at 20. If she's like, I'm leaving you, but you're not leaving me, So at 60, I don't even know what, like you said, what happens here? Like maybe she's like, I got to live my life. I got to go out and be player style. Cause Jeff Bezos just got divorced not too long ago. Are these two guys like, sometimes friends, one friend gets divorced. Have you heard of this happening? This is like phenomenal.
Kind of the reverse of Seinfeld. Remember, George was getting married, and then Jerry meets Janine Garofalo's character for a short time. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I'm going to get married too.
Janine Garofalo on that episode, smoke show. I mean, I used to have a huge crush on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but there is a phenomenon where if two guys are really close and one gets a divorce, a lot of time the other one gets a divorce where they can hang out and like, let's go hit the scene,
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's that, but I would just say that if you're a lady, and I've read a lot of slander on Bill Gates over the last few. I'm like, is this guy hated by America? I wasn't aware of this. I know there's jokes about he's putting microchips in this, and I think the guy's done a lot of charitable work. And then people go, he hasn't done enough. And I'm like, how much do you want from this man? How much do you want from this man?
I guarantee he's given more than you guys have.
Well, Lee, past host of the show, we always say all billionaires are evil, and they've done many evil things to get the money. Now, hey, I'm not going to disagree with him on that. I see there's some hint of truth in it, but Bill Gates is like, I saw people going, oh, somebody posted it. He had the COVID vaccine and he wouldn't share it with people. And I'm like, well, I'm sure the dude's literally.
First of all, did he?
I don't.
Number two.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I guess you got to take everything.
How do you know he had the vaccine?
I guess this was an article.
And if you had that knowledge, why aren't you giving it?
Well, it was an article. I guess he wouldn't share it with other countries. But the point is, I know he goes to Africa, a lot of clean water initiative. I like the guy. I've always liked him. As a kind of a geeky guy growing up, I always looked to him and said, well, anything's possible. Like, So I don't know. Good luck, Bill Gates, getting into that dating scene. I hope it works out there for you, bud. So, okay, well, let's just get to the heart of the matter then. It is time, I believe, for the Mount Rushmore of Star Wars characters, and we're going to do some heavy Star Wars talk. I think we should do that. So, May the 4th was this past week. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to ask you a question. I want to get your take on it. Better series all time, based on from when you first watched it to now, Marvel, Star Wars?
Marvel.
I think so too. I hate to say that because we grew up with Star Wars, but I just think Marvel's better.
When your weak point, and it's a heavy dip, but it's still not like an atrocious. It's not unwatchable.
Right.
It's not an atrocious movie.
Yeah.
Was Thor: The Dark World?
Yeah.
I mean,
still a watchable movie.
It's still definitely a watchable movie.
But Phantom Menace, I mean, let's be honest. I've never, ever thought when I had kids, I was like, let's watch this movie. And I think you could show kids the pod race scene.
Yeah, I think that movie as a whole was like almost made for like.
And number 2,
8 and 9-year-olds.
Darth Maul. That's it. You could just take the lightsaber battle with Darth Maul, the pod race, movie over. It's done.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even going to talk of Jar Jar Binks, who has no
midi-chlorians,
no chance of making anyone's Mount Rushmore. I've met people that go, I love him. No, you ironically love him. There's no way you love that guy. There's 0%. I know sometimes I say everyone thinks that way, and then people they're like, not every. I'm talking generally. on this one, I'm being literal. Jar Jar Binks, of anyone who watched the original Star Wars series, I'm not talking 15-year-olds or 12-year-olds right now. I'm talking adult people that love Star Wars. 0% like Jar Jar Binks. Does not make him Mount Rushmore. 100% on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some of your moments of Star Wars? Like, what did you watch it as a kid? Did you love it? Did you have the toys? Did you make believe?
Oh, I mean, I loved the very first movie when I was a kid was my go-to. When I got a little bit older, Empire.
Of course.
Yeah. But just out of the gate, the complaints I would have about Luke Skywalker,
Yeah.
I could see myself having those same, being a little whiny,
Yeah.
and just looked upon as being, just there.
I just remember growing up thinking there was something odd about Luke Skywalker. And I never could put my finger on it. And I think it's because in the movies, as he was presented, he was an asexual character.
Yeah.
He's a lead character that's asexual. Like, yeah, I know Chewbacca. I mean, I know Yoda. Okay, but they're not. I'm talking the main character that's driving all these stories is Luke Skywalker. I mean, through the whole series. Okay?
Yeah.
I always thought it was just weird that he never, and I guess that's kind of the Jedi code, but I guess they all kind of break it because they're all having kids anyway. So I was like, is it really a code? If everyone's doing it, it's kind of like marijuana laws here. Like, well, we're not going to press charges if you get caught with a little bit. It's like, is it really a law at that point? But that's something that always kind of bothered me about him. I don't know. So anyway, we'll get to all
when you're a little kid, you don't really see that though.
I just felt it. I felt like this weirdness about him to me. And I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I do remember I had his action figure from Return of the Jedi, the full black outfit, and I thought that was badass, dude. I was like, but one of his hands was white. So what I learned was if you took water and rubbed the hand, you could turn it black, so he would be all black. And I was like, that's awesome. So I remember...
You have the white hand to be like representative of his hand that was cut off?
So I wanted the hands to both, so I would like basically chew on it where I could get the hands to both be black. Mm-hmm. I was like... so anyway, that's my opinion of early thoughts of Luke Skywalker. They've obviously changed a little bit. I think the Luke Skywalker in the last 3, phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a different character.
I didn't include him. I mean, in Return of the Jedi, he was kind of badass. Yeah,
no, he is. Yes, in that movie, he's a little bit different. Yeah, which we'll talk about some characters in that movie. But yes. So from the chat, Linda Sawyer said Star Wars was the very first movie she saw at the theaters. That's dope.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what mine was. It was probably, man, you know what? Truthfully, bro, there's a possibility it could have been Empire. I don't know that. I know.
The first movie I remember seeing
was what?
It was a double feature.
Oh, jeez.
2 movies that couldn't be more different. Was the Santa Claus, where Dudley Moore was one of the elves.
How old were you?
Oh God, I think it was 83.
Okay, you shouldn't have seen that movie.
And The Last Dragon, which is like a
Bruce Lee.
It was not Bruce Lee. Well, there were cut scenes from Bruce Lee movies throughout the movie. Imagine a Bruce Lee movie, but with an all-black cast.
But he was in the movie through past footage.
Yeah.
Is that what? Yes. Oh wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't know what my first movie. I think it was E.T. But
I remember
that's a pretty
seeing,
good one. Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon came out when.
No, what was it called? No, what's the movie called you saw?
The Last Dragon.
The Last. Yes, I used to see that at Blockbuster. It was like Bruce Lee's last movie. I was like,
no, he wasn't in the movie.
He wasn't?
He's not. No, when you see Bruce Lee in the movie, it's when the main character, whose name's Leroy Green, and people called him Bruce Leroy.
Wait, what is this? Wait,
it's like a
Maybe
the blaxploitation movies
Yes.
of the 70s.
Okay.
Okay, pretend it was in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
And it was the thing is, it's like a kung fu movie, and it was almost a musical at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Because the lead female character was was played by Vanity of if anybody's a big Prince fan,
Okay.
as one of Prince's main squeezes. The main guy was barely an actor. He was mostly a martial arts guy, and he changed his name. His name was Tiamat. And for those Dungeons and Dragons nerds, Tiamat was the name of the five-headed dragon.
Okay.
So I mean, there you go.
So this was the second movie you ever saw. That
Yeah.
explains your Gone with the Wind pick last week, which people were not happy about.
I know it took a lot of flack, but you got to remember for a very long time.
No,
for
John.
a very long time, Gone with the Wind held the record for
Bro,
movie sales.
Corey came over. My brother-in-law comes over.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I listened to the latest one. He goes, sometimes I'll be listening. I'm like, John, man, you got some really good points. And then he goes and says something like that. And I'm like, what is wrong with you, man? Anyway, okay. Okay, so Star Wars, great franchise. I think we can all agree with that. I mean, like I said, from New Hope to Mandalorian, it's gone pretty well. There's been some bumps in the road, but as a series, if Marvel didn't exist, it's the flagship. It's crazy that Disney has both of these. They're like, we have the best two franchises ever. Okay, awesome. Good for you guys. Like,
if they could just get a hold of Harry Potter.
They might. So we know we love Star Wars. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan. You're a Star Wars fan. So we had to do for May the 4th, the Mount Rushmore Star Wars characters. We're going to list our 4, and I'm just doing my favorite. I'm not saying definitive. I'm saying my 4 favorite characters. I don't know what you're doing with your list, but that's, to me, say definitive. I mean, you'd have to say Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. You'd probably have to say.
Let's get into it. And then
Okay. All right. So who goes first? Did you go first last week?
You went first last
week.
week.
All right. So John is up first. This is the Mount Rushmore of Star Wars characters. Go, John.
I know what you're going to say for your first one, so I'm not going to take them.
You can. My kids let me know who I definitely need to have on it because I quote him all the time. I wasn't even aware of this. But anyways, that's a tease.
But for my first pick, I have to go with the one that's probably the most mimicked. And I mean, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have a baby version. I got to go with Yoda.
Oh, that's my kid said, Dad, you better have Yoda on your list. Because my quote that I go around the house saying all the time is do or do not. There is no try.
Which is funny because there's a Mormon leader.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
That
hang on.
Said that he was a lot of people said that he was the inspiration for Yoda because I mean,
what are you talking about? Come on.
You can ask my wife about it. She could probably state his name before I say it. But I mean, in a major talk that he gave, he said, "Do or do not. There is no try." Way before Yoda did.
I'm clipping this. Where are we at in the show right now? I'm going to have to get this on. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
His name was Spencer W. Kimball. And
this is wild.
Yeah, and
so I want to make sure I hear this right. Yoda, one of the greatest Star Wars characters of all time, was based on this dude named Kimball, who was a Mormon.
Yep.
You believe it's Lucas plucked this guy's philosophy.
I don't think so. I think it's purely coincidence. But maybe there is proof that he said that quote long before.
All right. Well, Yoda, it's your number one.
Yoda's my number one.
Just because he's badass, or
I mean, his quotability,
but he is badass.
He is badass.
I mean, the first 3,
you don't really, see the badass until.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, Clone Wars.
Yeah, until Clone Wars, but
it's one of the greatest fight scenes.
Oh yeah,
ever in the franchise.
But anyway, yeah.
But not the best. I don't want these nerds coming. Oh, how dare you use like that? Calm down.
Get your pitchforks and
your
your torches.
One of the best lightsaber battles. Calm down. Okay.
But I mean,
favorite Yoda scene then? If you love this guy so much, favorite Yoda scene?
I mean, I liked him when he came off as a crackpot right at
Oh
the
yeah,
get-go.
no, it's great. Okay.
It's just kind of
You still haven't listed a scene. What did he do?
That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
He was. I mean, in the
Comedy.
yeah. Well, not necessarily the juxtaposition where he seems like just this super dope. He's annoying. You know, Luke just wants to wring this guy's neck, and then all of a sudden, this is the master among masters that he's supposed to learn from.
All right, fair enough.
And so,
all right, Yoda, number one. That's a good pick. I mean, I definitely would have had him at number 2, but my number 1, I don't know if you'd have picked this guy if you didn't know I was picking Han Solo as my guy.
I knew you were gonna pick him.
Han Solo through and through. There's not a better character. Hold on. Now, I don't count. I know this isn't really like, but Han Solo in Return of the Jedi is a wimp. Okay, he's not the same guy. But Empire Strikes Back, there will never be another character captured on screen as cool as that guy. I want it to be Han Solo. Like Luke Skywalker, see it. Like dude, you can have the Force and be Luke, or you can be cool like Han Solo. Like, I mean, get out of here, man. Like I love that he doesn't. One of my favorite things about him is he reminds me of me in many ways. I think that's why I like him. He's very skeptical of I love he's skeptical of the Force. When the Force exists, he knows it exists. He's just like, I don't know if I really believe it or not, right?
He's seeing it in action.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But the definitive Han Solo, I mean, dude, I love the Solo movie. I think his death was perfectly done on screen. I think that was the best way to send him off into the sunset. But obviously, the all-time Han Solo moment is, I know, when Princess says I love you, every dude was just like, oh man, that's the dopest. But I just love that he was a pilot. I love he had guns. I love that he had a best friend that was always kicking with him. I love characters that are cynical, like Rocket. He reminds me of Rocket Raccoon a lot, okay? They're cynical, but they have a heart underneath it. And they don't really want to show too many people, so they have this cynical thing. And they are kind of cynical, but deep down they have a heart. I love that character. If that character's in any movie, I'm like, that's my favorite person in the movie. So Han Solo, number 2. All right, John. Now you're up to 2.
Number 2. Now I'm really struggling for this. You normally
Misa picks
yeah.
Jar Jar Binks.
a lot of times when we're doing these lists, I just want certain people to be represented.
Okay.
And I don't care who's listening on.
Oh boy.
But this time around, I want certain people to be on my list.
Okay.
And so I'm really worried that if I name one of these people, you're just going to take the opposite one.
I mean, probably, but
so,
I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, I mean, they couldn't be more different. But I'm going to go with there was a theory about the first 6 movies that it's actually all from the point of view of this one character.
Okay.
And if you watch the movies with that in mind, it makes it really funny and really interesting.
I'm so curious which one you're going to pick, John.
And so
he's talking about the droids. Which droid are you picking?
R2-D2.
Oh, that's the right pick. That's the right pick.
That's definitely the right pick.
Even though my son asked my children who were, I was mainly talking to Nick, my 11-year-old, and he said C-3PO would have been on his list. I went, wow, really? I go, why? Because he's funny. I went, okay.
Not intentionally.
No, but that's why he's fine. Okay, so R2-D2 is your number 2.
Yeah.
Just because he's cool.
No, he's just, I mean, he's
in every movie.
He's the heart
of
everything. Which is, oddly enough, he's a droid. He doesn't have a heart.
Funny, but yeah, I mean.
But yeah, the Star Wars A New Hope doesn't happen without him.
Yeah. No, of course.
He's got the plans, and it just doesn't. It's all him.
Yeah.
So,
no, I understand with you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no, that's a good choice. I definitely would have R2 on my list. So you've already grabbed 2 people that definitely would have been on my list. So you can start to see how my list would have potentially played out. But for my number 2, I've got to pick who I think. I know people say Anakin was the greatest Jedi. Luke's the greatest Jedi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is the greatest Jedi that's ever lived. Okay, not this Mace Windu. Maybe Yoda's a little bit better. But on screen, I'm going on screen. I'm not reading the books and all this. Obi-Wan Kenobi is the dopest. I mean, he has beat more people. Darth Maul, got him. General Grievous, got him. Darth Vader, beat him. Well, you just killed like 3 of the most important people in the franchise, all right? So without Obi-Wan, There's no Darth Vader. There's no New Hope. I mean, I just think Obi-Wan, watching him from the first movie until he goes out essentially in New Hope and comes back as a ghost. But if there was one bright moment of those first 3 movies was Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was like, can we get this guy's own series already? Which they're going to. But I just love him. I think he's a badass. I think his fight with Darth Maul really was just perfection, man. I think it's great. And then Ewan McGregor. Can't go wrong with that. So, yeah, I love Obi-Wan. He's getting his own series on Disney Plus, and I'm all in on that one. So, it's my number 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Good pick.
All
Very
right.
good pick.
Your number 3.
My number 3
C-3PO.
is for the short time that he'd been on screen, right when he came out.
I trying to guess who this is going to be.
It was mesmerizing, and he didn't say a word.
Oh, yeah, it was going to
He
be
was
my
just
number 3.
Bad assery. And that's Darth Maul.
Oh, wow. Okay, no, you didn't pick who I was thought. Yeah, Darth Maul. What a... Dude, when the movie came out, 1999, right?
I think so, yeah.
Around that time, I was going out and I was buying every Darth Maul thing I could find. And I don't want people to think, oh, you went to a toy store? No, I was going through drive-ins where they had cups, Taco Bell, Darth Maul cups. I had all of this Darth Maul stuff. I thought he just looked like a badass dude. He had the double lightsaber. He looked great. And, man, what a swing and a miss. Now, he did make an appearance in Solo. And I wish they would have pushed that narrative forward. I wish there would have been a movie after Solo. But, once again, I don't know why people hated Solo. Had Han Solo, Chewbacca,
Now,
Lando. He's at the end of the movie.
did he have, like, the robotic legs?
I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch. I don't think so.
Because he's in...
I know he's in Clone Wars, right? And he gets beat by Obi-Wan Kenobi again. Yeah, he has the robot legs or whatever. No, he's definitely in Solo. At the very end, he's talking to the chick that turned bad or whoever she was. So, yeah, Darth Maul. Dude, that was... but once again, the problem with Star Wars, they bring out these heavies and they get killed like instantly. And you're like, man, like General Grievous. Dude, that dude looks pretty cool. Dead. Darth Maul, he looks pretty cool. Dead. Snoke, he's dead. Like, bro, what is going on here, man? If the formula would have been followed for Darth Vader, he'd been out after the first movie. I'm like, all right, calm down. Slow down. Slow your roll. Yeah, Darth Maul's a good one. All right. Well, my number 3, I thought you were about to take this dude, and I was going to be upset because this is the ultimate. This is the gunslinger. This is Clint Eastwood. This is the good, the bad, the ugly. This dude is awesome. I loved him. I had his toy. How did you not say Boba Fett, baby? He is the best.
I told my wife that I thought that was going to be your number 2. I thought you were going to Han Solo, Boba Fett.
I didn't think you'd grab Boba Fett. That's why I grabbed Obi-Wan, because I thought you might be more inclined to grab that one. But I think Boba Fett looks the coolest. Once again, I pick a lot of people that, obviously Obi-Wan's a Jedi, but I love like the gunslinger style of Star Wars. That's why I like Han Solo and Boba Fett. Now, his alleged death was pretty lame.
Yeah,
but
he's
he's still alive in The Mandalorian, so there we go. So he lives on, and without Boba Fett, there's no Mandalorian. There's no way that show happens. And, I just think he looks cool. He had the guns. Like I said, he's like Clint Eastwood in this world. And he did not say much. But so I would hope at some point we get a series about him, but we'll see about that. All right, well, we're down to your last pick, John. Jar Jar Binks still on the board for you.
I wonder who I'm going to pick.
It's in John's.
I am going to have
That's
to
your
go.
brand to pick Jar Jar Binks.
It's really not.
Well, without him, none of this would have happened, which is technically true. You can't argue without Jar Jar Binks. None of this probably happens. He's the one that got the senator the votes to take over. Yeah, he totally did. Me is a Jar Jar Binks. Me is a vote for the senator. Don't you remember this scene?
That's one. Anyway, I'm not picking him. All right. I'm going to pick as my final pick.
Yeah.
The person that installed the information about the Death Star onto R2-D2, the one and only Princess Leia.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. Never was a big Leia fan, but hey,
She was your anti-damsel in distress. She was a strong woman. she she was just like, I mean, these guys were supposed to rescue her, and she's like, just give me the gun, you guys are useless.
Yeah.
And,
No, it's true. I mean, yes.
So I mean, and she was kind of consistent with that throughout.
Yeah. No, I'll give you
all of her roles. The way they did the whole latent force ability thing, and that one movie is just, I was not happy about that, but
that was The Last Jedi, right?
yeah, I think no.
Yeah, it's
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, where she goes flying out of the plane. She's like, "Arr." Yeah, it was pretty terrible. But I will say, yes, she's grown on me through the years, and I can appreciate her. And Star Wars is interesting because there's not. You look at Marvel, they're all kind of like heartthrobs. You're like, all right, there's Robert Downey, there's Chris Evans, there's Chris Hemsworth, there's freaking Mark Ruffalo. I get it. They're all good looking. There's Scarlett Johansson. We get it. There's Scarlet Witch. Star Wars was kind of like just normal people on screen, which I kind of liked about it. You know, I know people say, oh, Harrison Ford, but I've always liked Harrison Ford is just kind of like.
He dropped out of the market before that movie.
Yeah.
He was working as a carpenter.
Right.
When he got the call up because he thought he wasn't going to get any more roles.
Well, he was wrong on that one. He went on. Yeah, but I just like that. It was. I think people like Star Wars because it's regular, almost people on the screen. There's no like, oh, this person it can be a model, but I mean, they're fine. You know, it's perfect. I think that's why it connects with people because people can connect to those characters. All right, Princess Leia. Well, I mean, number 4. Come on, man. Like, who's left that we didn't pick? Darth Vader, dude, is my number 4.
Yeah.
The heavy of the movie. The driving force, obviously, of the entire franchise. I mean, he's in the first movie as Anakin, which you can argue that's 2 different characters, but that person become Darth Vader is the Skywalker legacy is built into. Anakin sucks. Darth Vader is awesome. Okay, that's the scale you got to look at. Anakin was terrible. All right, nobody likes Anakin, and I think that was the misjustice of the first 3. You're like, this is the best Jedi I've ever lived. No.
I would urge people who feel that way about Anakin to watch the Clone Wars. It is canon, and I think it gives a lot of understandability to the character and likability.
Yeah.
To him, you really actually see where he's coming from, and I mean I agree with you in the films. He's just
terrible,
very whiny.
Right.
I mean he's acting like a petulant teenager.
He's the worst, but. Darth Vader, first time you see him on screen, like, whoa. Like I said, I liked Luke Skywalker's black outfit. I loved Darth Vader. I was like, this is what a villain needs to look like right here. And then we would be amiss to not talk about Rogue One.
The scene in Rogue One where, oh my gosh.
That is straight up. I said, you know, I know he's not fighting anybody with a lightsaber, but man, that's the best use of the Force I've ever seen in the entire franchise. Maybe Luke. Not in Last Jedi. But anyway, point is, Darth Vader, that rounds out our list. So here's our list. From John, 1 to 4, Yoda, R2-D2, Darth Maul, Princess Leia. And my list is Han Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett, and Darth Vader. So I think it was a solid list. I think most people, probably, well, you left out Luke Skywalker. He's too whiny.
There's a reason for that.
Skywalkers are, Darth Vader and me is not really a Skywalker anymore. Skywalkers kind of suck, dude. I mean, I know they got these power and they're great, but well, I guess Princess Leia is a Skywalker too, though, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, point is, so that is our Mount Rushmore.
On how you were raised. If you were raised on a planet that's mostly a desert, you're
gonna be lame.
You're gonna be lame.
There we go. All right, so that's our list. Share us who is on yours, and we have come up to the end of the program. I don't even get to talk about freaking Donald Trump's social media website. I'm going to touch on this.
AKA blog.
1 minute. Yes. It came out. Donald Trump has a social media website that's going to rival Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's going to be a platform where he can talk to you. You can talk to him. I imagine what people thought, like when sometimes the original people thought of God. They're like, we're going to talk to him. He's going to talk to us. Well, just like God, the communication is one way, baby. I mean, you're only getting... Donald Trump has made this website. It's called I don't even know what the website is, but the name of it is From the Desk of Donald J. Trump. And it is like you said, it is a live journal that he's typing in. It's a journal, bro. And you cannot comment on anything he writes. You can only share it on other social media sites. Somebody went on Twitter today because his Facebook suspension was reinstated, and he's been also banned from Twitter. So somebody was taking blog excerpts from this website and tweeting them out, and Twitter said, "You're gone, get out of here." So they booted that person. But that to me is the biggest fail this week. He's advertising this is going to rival Twitter. Brother, this is a website. There's literally websites all out there, man. You're a moron. I mean, I don't want to talk about the guy too much, but that was just stupid. I can't get over it. I tweet out, it would be like if you live with a dude that's just like stoned all the time. And he's like, dude, you know it'd be wicked. And you're like, all right, man, hit us. What you got, man? He's like, well, if we had this device, man, we could heat up like burritos in a minute. And you're like, are you talking about the microwave? Yeah, man. You're like, dude, that already exists.
That's a great name for it.
Name, dude. So anyway, that was fail of the week. All right. That's the end of the episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. May the 4th be with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, the Mount Rushmore, Marvel Phase 4, nerd-heavy episode with Bill Gates. So let us know what you think, all you nerds and geeks out there. And like we have a website that we do not advertise as, it never comes up when I try to pull it up on the screen, but we don't advertise it as the great next thing. Maybe we should just say this website's going to rival Twitter. But if you go to bybpod.com, that's our website. It has all of our episodes, social media links, ways to grab the podcast, ways to buy our merchandise. It has an Amazon link if you want to buy things on Amazon. We get a small percentage of the sales. If you go to our website first, click on the link, then it takes you back to Amazon. That will help us out a lot. You can rate, review, all that fun stuff. So we want you to go check out our website, which is much better than the desk of Donald J. Trump for sure. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of the week.
You can actually respond to ours.
Yeah, I know. You can actually leave comments on ours. Oh, what a crazy idea. So anyways, that is the show. Tell all your friends about it. Rate, review, share, all those fun things. And with all that being said, John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Me, so blame my brother.